It is Thursday morning. We're about to head upstairs for this Digital Secrets Revealed and see if we can make an impact, bring some value. All right, let's go.
We don't really know what we want, right? This idea that companies, when they're asking about social or digital, should they hire an intern? Do they have their son or nephew handle it? When do they hire an agency? So what are some of the qualifications that, as a business, that they should be looking for in a social media professional? I'm looking at Eric.
I would say reverse engineer that and find out what you actually want it to do. So to go back to what Marcus was talking about, what do you want social to do? The idea that just because it's 2018 that you think you need to start a Snapchat channel is not necessarily true if perhaps you sell funeral stuff, right? Like people who are dying aren't on Snapchat, right? Like it's a much younger social medium. So first you gotta figure out what am I doing and why am I there? And then what am I going to do there and what do I want it to do? So if I want to sell widgets, how am I going to sell those widgets? Is it easier for you to sell, like use some of the data that you figured out, find out where you need to go? There's some experimentation with that, but you see a lot of brands that just wake up and go, oh, there's this thing called Yik Yak, let's jump on there. Oh, Whisper, we should totally be on, why are you on Whisper? Right? Why are you on Vero? Why did you start all of those things? So start with what you want to do and find a channel that works for you.
I saw this, but Eric set up a camera that's right there. Hi, Mom. But what I want to say is that, we're usually pretty good at managing things for clients and not always for ourselves, right? You'll sometimes look at your own social channel and you're like, what's going on here? What are some of the resources that you guys use in your own business and time management to make sure that you're actively managing your social channels?
Well, I think to go back to what Marcus was saying, one of the reasons that I've been doubling down on doing stuff like this is because I want to be empathetic to the fact that when I show up in your office and I say you need to do more content, I'm not talking from some abstract understanding.
Right.
I know that it's another full-time job to do this day in and day out, but I feel so strongly that much like to how do you educate people writ large, it's showing up at things like this, it's putting stuff out in the world that they can grab onto and understand the difference between the 5 people up here as panelists and the snake oil salesman that isn't asking you what the KPI is and just wants to take money to run your Facebook ads, right? So I approach it purely from an empathetic standpoint, just to go, I know how much work it takes, and I know the difference between what I'm doing here and hiring a freelance photographer, and when you get to that point, you need to evoke help to do that.
Just got done with a run because hotel living and car riding, not the greatest for the body, but you saw panel discussion. You can look at that in 2 ways. 1, it's one of the most difficult ways to be a public speaker, and 2, it's one of the most fun challenges. Difficult because there's 5 people on stage, each one of them trying to get their point of view across. Challenging because if you only have 3 times to talk, you got to make those times count. A couple ways you can make your interactions on a panel discussion count. 1, in this particular one, they were awesome about getting the questions early. So you get the questions early and you prep for those questions. 2, if you know who the moderator is, you can kind of creep on their Twitter and Facebook and get a sense of who they are and maybe some of the questions that they're going to ask. And what that allows you to do in a boxing analogy is to slip off the center line. What does that mean? Well, in boxing, if you're the camera and I'm against you, you're on the center line right now. I'm punching straight down the middle, right in your dome. So getting off the center line is if that punch is coming at me, I'm going to come over here. Your head is right here, my fist is right here, maximum impact, right? So if you prep and know what the questions are and listen to the keynote presenter before you and listen to every one of your panelists' answers. 1, so you can help tie them all together, and if somebody makes a great point, you can bring them into the conversation, and 2, there is no chance for you to go, because you're out of time. Buzzer management that Seth Godin talks about. If you're thinking about the answer before you hit the buzzer, it's far too late. If the panelists are in a discussion that you're not in tune with, it's far too late to make an impact. So best way to do that is prep beforehand and listen intensely. I got a thing tomorrow, social consultancy, so I will be offline because I can't show you any of that stuff. We'll be back on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Talk soon.